So upon reflection of that last video this morning, about the escaping and being caught within 24 hours, it made me, while I was sitting there doing it made me remember some other things. I think I escaped from the detention centre 8 times in total. Now, when I say escaped, I mean left the facility. Whether or not I got away from the facility, like in the last video, or was caught within the surrounding areas of the facility. Either way, about 8 times. But upon reflection of that video this morning, I was sitting there thinking about another time that me and a mate at the time from Hobart escaped. And we were literally out of the centre for 20 minutes, half hour at most, and we were captured in the surrounding paddocks and areas of the detention centre. Now, when we returned to the detention centre, they pulled up out the front of the admission area. I was in the middle. My mate was being held in the front seat by a worker, and I had 2 on either side of me, holding me, because we'd been restrained in the paddocks and tried to resist, obviously, to no avail. So, we've escaped, we've been caught, we're now back inside the centre. When they let him out of the car, we were back inside the fence now, so they literally let him out, he'd been getting held the whole time. And then when we pulled up at the front door of the admissions area to go back into the centre, they just let him climb out of the car, and the bloke that was holding him got out behind him, and he just walked to the admissions door. And straight away, my dumb ass, not being able to accept what had just happened, that I'd been caught, that I didn't get away, all these things, I observed this, and my first thought was, if they do that to me, we didn't have handcuffs or nothing on, because when we escaped, they didn't have time to go grab handcuffs and this, that, the other, and chase us to catch us. They just come straight out of the centre and chased us down and used brute force to control us, because obviously we weren't cuffed or cable tied or whatever. When I observed this, I thought to myself, if they, because I was in the middle of the back seat, I said to myself, if they so much as give me a split second to get out of this vehicle and just stand there, I know I can outrun them all. That's not a problem. But when you've just escaped and you've ran kilometres trying to get to bushland so they can't see you in open paddocks, and they're driving over fences and gates and whatnot in cars, it's pretty hard to outrun someone under them circumstances. But when I got out, he literally got out of the car, stepped all the way back and undone the door, and he goes, "Let's go, Kane." And I put my head down, and one of them still had hold of my jumper as he was coming across the back driver's side to the middle of the seat as I was getting out the back passenger side. And as soon as I got both feet on the ground, I just went whack and smacked his hand off my jumper. And the other one just wasn't quick enough to grab me, and I've just gone boom and took off to the left again inside the centre. And they used to have, at the kitchen dining room area, the big kitchen dining room in the detention centre. Oh! I'm going to stop getting up so early. They had a massive, I don't know if they were air conditioners or if they were for all the cooking stuff inside the dining room. But either way, they had all these massive air conditioning, fan looking machinery and technology on the back wall or side wall of the dining room area that was all caged off to protect it, obviously, so people couldn't stick sticks or anything in the fans or whatever. Design flaw though, because the cage that was around it was one that you could, just a normal basketball sort of wire that you could just climb straight up and then run across and get onto the roof of the facility. When I took off running, I come round the back of the dining room, and they were already on the radio saying, "He's trying to run again, he's running again." And staff have just dropped everything they were doing to stop me from getting to the fence, so I didn't get out of the detention centre again. And yeah, as I come around that corner and I realised there was staff coming out of the school, coming out of Bronte, coming out of everywhere, I just thought, I'm not going to get away. So I scaled straight up that dining room cage that was protecting all the electrical stuff that ran the kitchen. Now that's fine. I've scaled up onto the roof, ran across to the middle of the roof basically so I could see each way. They could only get up there one way unless they bring ladders, which they did. I was up there for probably 20 minutes, half hour, being yelled at and screamed at, and I was yelling and screaming and spitting and carrying on. And eventually, this will be a short video, less than 10 minutes. Eventually, about 5 of them decided, because you're on a roof like this, big, long, and you just fall straight off, 5 metre, 6 metre drop, higher than the fence we were jumping, so it wasn't safe. And yeah, eventually, about 5, 6 of them have got up at 2 different angles so that they got me in the middle. And yeah, they've come towards me and I've tried to get round them and whatnot to keep going along the roof and whatnot. And yeah, long story short, they've restrained me, got me down, beat the fuck out of me, and over the space of about 30 minutes, they managed to drag me along the roof to a corner of the building where the rest of the detention centre couldn't see because they were obviously going to flog me. And they dragged me over past what used to be called Liffey and the admission area. They dragged me all the way across there, and then they dragged me down past the courtyard and the top of Quamby, it used to be called, or Franklin. And once they got me down into this corner bit where the first cell starts up the northwest end of Franklin's corridor, there was like a big brick wall that starts the courtyard into Franklin and where the cells ran alongside that way. So it was just isolated. There was nowhere, no camera. There was never any cameras there when I was there, but anyway, there was nowhere for anyone else to really see what was happening. Once they got me to down from the top of the roof to the guttering sort of thing, I'm still resisting. I'm going off my head, not really giving a fuck that I'm 6 metres off the ground and they could probably just throw me off if they wanted to, but obviously that wouldn't have went well. But yeah, they put 3 big ladders up the side of the building, hard up against the wall and hard up against each other. And they were trying to force me down the ladders. I'm in headlocks, leg locks, arm locks, and people are come up the ladders and grab me and trying to force me to climb down this ladder willingly. Wouldn't happen. I would not fucking do it. I kept trying to kick the ladders that they were standing on and just doing dumb shit to keep inflicting harm on myself because I couldn't accept that they'd caught me. Long story short, eventually they got my feet by grabbing them and pulling them down the ladder and then them sliding down the roof and forcing me so I couldn't get back up onto the roof. I was stuck at the top of the ladder. And eventually, dumbass me grabbed one of their legs and was saying, I'll fucking pull you off the roof, you dog, dumb shit, And yeah, that didn't go well. That's that, because I didn't hear him say, just rip the ladder out from under him. I didn't hear that. I just felt it when I was free falling face down and the ladder had been pulled out from under, and the people at the top of the roof just let go of me. And the 4 at the bottom who had climbed up the ladder a couple of times and tried to bring me down it, just went to the bottom of the ladder and ripped all 3 of the ladders out from under me while I was, 4 or 5 steps down them, wrestling with the people at the guttering of the roof. And yeah, the ladders, they just picked them up and pulled the arse end of the ladder out so that I just come straight down and landed on the ladder and landed flat on the ground and smashed myself. Yeah, and then after that, obviously, I was choked, stomped, kicked, you name it, for trying to escape twice in the space of 30 minutes. But I said 10 minutes, probably 11. Moral of the story, based off the story that I told before about us making it out of the detention centre back to Launceston and the police having to recapture me, isn't it it's pivotal that I bring this up because I didn't make it out of the detention centre. However, I want to apologise to the staff on the roof that day, the staff on the ground that day that had to beat me into submission to take me back inside and put me back into a safe area where I couldn't do any damage or escape. And it just sort of highlights the sort of young man that I was, because the escape before that was the one I was referring to in the last video. So I hate to imagine what would have happened if I'd gotten away that time, because look what happened last time. Fighting in a muddy creek, trying to grab cops. It's just, when I was telling that story this morning, I was just like, I can give so many examples of times where I was just spastic, retarded, not thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking, but I'm not using logic, common sense, reasoning, and I will continue to share these stories because they're just mind-blowing to me now. Like, I used to not think about it on a deep level, and like I said, the story that I told this morning and the one that I'm telling now, until I had a conversation with my brother last night, I'd forgotten the one I told this morning, and until I told the one this morning, I'd forgotten all about this one. It's like, I don't know, it's just, I won't lie, it's a bit overwhelming sometimes. Like, I start thinking about it or talking about other things, and things pop into my head, and I'm like, how did you forget that? Why would you forget that? It's just, I think it's a very clear demonstration of what happens when you repeatedly put yourself in bad situations, when you repeatedly do dumb shit, when you repeatedly refuse to be a law-abiding citizen. That's what happens. Traumatic shit just piles up and keeps happening, so you just forget about it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, when that ladder was ripped out from under me, I genuinely thought, I'm going to have a broken neck, it's going to break my back, it's going to do something, because I was falling from a height of 6 metres, face down on top of 3 ladders, and I landed flush on the ladders, me legs, me neck, everything, just boof, and come off the ladder and still insisted on resisting. It's just, yeah, it makes me we're at 12 minutes. I'll finish quick. It makes me really proud to be able to sit here and remember and talk about these things, because at the end of the day, I said it in a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago, regardless of what I've done, people are going to remember me for the things I do moving forward. Trust me. I've got so many goals, plans, business ideas, and things that I'm going to put in place so that everything that I've done, it may be bad, people may have suffered, people may have been traumatised, but I'm going to do everything in my power to continually and repeatedly apologise for my actions, my decision making, and more than anything, make better, smarter decisions moving forward to ensure that other people don't live the life I lived, make the decisions I made, and become the sort of person I become. All right. Have a good day, everyone.